Welcome everybody. This is solving systems of equation with substitution 9.3. So first off, we're going to solve the system of equation below using the graphing method. Let's do that first. Okay, so the first one, given in standard form. So remember we need to solve for y, right? So solve for y. So we have x plus 2y equals 6. Always subtract your x value first. Right, so subtract x. We have 2y equals negative x plus 6, because they're not like terms, so keep them separate. Then divide everything by 2, so we get y equals, and then negative 1x over 2 is negative 1/2 x, and then 6 over 2 is 3. So this is the equation that we're going to graph, right? So we start at our y-intercept, 3, and then we use our slope, 1/2. Right, so this one we start at our y-intercept number 3, and our slope is negative 1/2, right? So we're going down. So down 1, right 2. Down 1, right 2. Down 1, right 2. And then we go the other way, just follow the pattern. Then we draw our line right there. So that's our first graph. Second graph, right? We'll start at negative 1. So we start at negative 1, use our slope, 1/2, up 1, right 2, up 1, right 2, and they intersect at that point. Right, so that intersection point is our solution, right? So this is our solution right there. So that is that when x is 4, y is 1. So 4, 1 would be our solution for this one. Okay, so this is going to fail if like we don't end up with some nice clean 4, 1 point, right? If it ends up like in the middle and we have to estimate, then it fails, right? Because we don't know exactly. So we can't just guess, right? So that the graphing method fails when the lines intersect at a decimal or fraction, and the lines intersect at a point off the graph and unable to see. So if we had our graphs intersect way out here, there's no way that we could see where that is and pick a point, right, where it intersects. So the graphing method does have limitations to it, and these are two limitations, right? Decimal fraction, or like somewhere in the middle, and we don't know what that is, or somewhere off the graph, we don't know what that is. Okay, so we know solving systems by substitution is one method to help us when graphing method fails. Okay, and how we do that is we just substitute the entire equation in there, right? So when given y equals 1/2 x minus 1, we could take the entire right side 1/2 x minus 1 and substitute it in for y, because y equals that, right? And then put that in. So this is our y, right? And we substitute it for y, and we just calculate it out. We get x equals 4. And then we take that, substitute it into the next equation, and then we end up with y equals 1. And that's our ordered pair solution. 4, 1 will be our solution right here. Okay, so our steps that we use right here, solve the following systems by substitution. We're just going to take whatever it's given. So we're given y equals 7x. So we're just going to take this 7x and substitute it in for y, because it told us y is that number. So we're just going to put it in for y. Okay, so substitute 7x for y, and then we're going to solve for the remaining variable. So let's write that out. Negative 5x plus 2y equals 9. Then we're going to put in 7x for y, right? 2. And then for y, we put 7x, because that is now our y value. Okay, so we just replace the y with 7x. Then we calculate that out. So negative 5x plus 2 times 7x is 14x's equals 9. Right, then we combine like terms. So combine like terms. Then we get negative 5 plus 14 is 9, right? So 9x equals 9. Then we're going to divide by a coefficient of x to solve it, to get it by itself. So divide 9, and we get x equals 1. So we know x equals 1, and then we're going to take that number and we're going to substitute it into either equation and solve for the other variable. So if we know x is 1, then we're just going to put it into either equation. Look at this one. Look, this looks pretty easy, right? Y equals 7x. So we just pick down. So let's use this one. So y equals 7x, and then we're going to take this number, x equals 1, and put it in for x. So now we have y equals 7 times 1. And that just tells us y is equal to 7. Right? So we have x is 1, y is 7. So we're going to write it in an ordered pair. So we have 1, comma, 7. Right? Because 1 is our x, y is our 7. So that's how we got 1, comma, 7. Okay, so next one. Same thing. We're going to take whatever is given, right? So we're given x equals 2y. So we know x equals that value, right? X. So the first one was y. If y is given that value, we substitute it for y. If it tells us x is the value, we're going to substitute it for x right there. All right, so we're going to rewrite this. So negative 4x plus 11y equals 15. And we're going to put negative 4. Instead of the x, we're going to put 2y. And then bring everything else with it. And we calculate that out. So we get negative 4 times 2y is negative 8y plus 11y equals 15. Combine like terms. Right? Negative 8 plus 11 is 3. So 3y equals 15. Divide by 3 to both sides. We get y is equal to 5. Okay, so all we did was substitute 2y for x. Right? Sub 2y for x. Right there. And then we simplify, right? Combine like terms. Divide by 3. And we get our solution. Then we're going to take that value, we're going to substitute that value into either equation, whatever is easier. And again, we look at it, right? X equals 2y looks a lot easier. So we're going to use that. Let's make some space here. So x equals 2y. So we know our y value is 5. So we're going to substitute that into our equation, right? So y value is now 5. So we have x equals 2 times 5. So x is equal to 10. Right, so now we have, so let's substitute. Our x value is 10 and our y value is 5. So that is now our solution in ordered pair form, x comma y, right? So x, y again. So make sure you know which one's the x, right? The x is 10, the y is 5. And put it in that order, right? X, y. Okay, let's do another one. Okay, so now they give us y equals x plus 4. That's the one we're looking at. All right, so we're going to take that x plus 4, and since it was equal to y, we're going to sub this for y. All right, so we're going to put this right there. So we're going to substitute x plus 4 in parentheses for y. That entire thing. Yeah, so remember, put the parentheses. Okay, so let's rewrite that. So 12x minus 5y equals negative 20. Then we take 12x minus, so instead of y, we're putting x plus 4, right? And then put the parentheses there. At x plus 4 in for y. Remember, parentheses. Right there. And then distribute. Okay, so we're going to distribute. So we distribute that first to simplify it. So we get 12x. Negative 5 times x is negative 5x. And then negative 5 times 4 is negative 20. So remember your signs in the front. Right? So negative 5, distribute. So we're distributing negative 5. And this is equal to negative 20. Then we're going to combine like terms. Right? 12x minus 5x, 7. 7x minus 20 equals negative 20. We're going to add 7x equals 0. And then divide by 7. X equals 0. Right, so you know x equals 0. All right, then we're going to take our x equals 0 and put it into our simpler equation. And this one looks like it's going to be that one. So we're going to use that one. So y equals x plus 4. Right, and we're taking this 0 and putting it in for x. So y is equal to 0 plus 4. Y equals 4. Right there. So we know our x is 0, y is 4. So our solution is 0, comma 4. Right, that's our xy. Okay, next one. Same thing. Now they give you the y is equal to 2 over 5x plus 1. Right, so we're going to take that and substitute it in for y. Right, so substitute for y. And remember your parentheses, right? So we're going to rewrite this. So negative 5x plus 5. And then we're going to put our fraction in there. Right, it's going to be 2/5 x plus 1. Then we need to simplify this, right? Distribute. Right, so we're going to distribute 5. To simplify it, so we get negative 5x plus 5 times 2 over 5. Remember, multiply the numerators, right? 5 times 2 is 10 over 5x plus 5 times 1 is 5. This is equal to negative 10 on the right. And then keep simplifying. Negative 5x, 10 over 5 is 2. So we get 2x plus 5 equals negative 10. Combine like terms. Combine like terms. So we get negative 3x plus 5 equals negative 10. And keep solving. Subtract 5. Negative 15. Divide by negative 3. X equals 5. And again, we take that 5, right, and we put it into either equation, whichever one. Let's use the top one. It's easier. It's already solved for y, right? So we get y equals 2 over 5x plus 1. And we're going to take this 5 and put it right in there for x. So we get y equals 2 over 5, and then replace that x with 5. So y equals, remember, multiply numerators, 2 times 5, 10. Bottom stays the same. Plus 1, so y equals 2 plus 1, which is 3. So we know that x is 5, y is 3. And that's our solution, 5, comma 3. Okay, so that's solving by substitution. It's going to tell you one of the answers, right? So y equals something, and you substitute that in for y. If it gives you x equals something, you substitute that in for x. whichever one it gives you. Then you simplify it, right? Distribute, combine like terms, then you solve, like how we usually do. And then once you get your answer, substitute that into the other equation, and then solve it, and we get our other variable. So that's it right there.